The event unfolds inside a forested area near Lyman, where a Ukrainian drone tracks a Russian soldier moving in visible panic. He runs in tight circles around tree trunks, attempting to break line of sight and avoid the approaching aircraft. But the effort fails as the drone closes in and resolves the encounter. Not far away, another soldier flees through the undergrowth and stumbles just as a second Ukrainian drone descends toward his position. Nearby, a troop transport truck carrying Russian personnel stops along a narrow forest trail. As a drone approaches the vehicle, the soldiers dismount in confusion and scatter into the trees. Moments later, another drone targets a small group that has taken cover behind tree trunks, where one soldier falls while trying to reposition. Further along the trail, a drone moves toward a soldier using a tree for cover. But as he circles the trunk, the aircraft shifts focus and engages the parked truck instead. The scene unfolds near a leafless forest edge in Donetsk Oblast. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian soldier moving into the sparse tree line, unaware he is already being tracked from above. As the soldier advances deeper into the bare forest, a Ukrainian strike drone is redirected toward the area and begins a systematic search. Moments later, the soldier appears to sense danger. He stops beneath a single tree and remains completely still, seemingly believing that motionless cover will prevent detection. From the aerial view, the position is already confirmed. The strike drone completes its scan, aligns precisely, and accelerates toward the target. With no time left to react or reposition, the engagement concludes before the soldier can mount any resistance. The scene unfolds along the Huliai Pole direction, where a Ukrainian FPV drone confirms movement inside a roadside culvert. Two Russian soldiers remain concealed, relying on the narrow space for cover. After positive identification, the drone commits from a low angle, accelerating into the confined position. With no space to move or react, the engagement concludes within seconds. The footage unfolds along a forest belt near Donetsk Oblast, where a Ukrainian drone maintains steady observation over a Russian soldier retreating through dense cover. The soldier moves quickly between trees before dropping into a shallow trench, sitting low in an attempt to disappear. After several seconds, he looks upward and realizes he is being watched. His posture changes. He raises his hands and bows repeatedly toward the drone, signaling fear and a desire to survive. There is no response from above. Moments later, the soldier climbs out of the trench and runs again, weaving through branches until he reaches a large tree. He stops there, using the trunk as partial cover. Overhead, a Ukrainian strike drone hovers nearby, holding position. The soldier circles the tree continuously, trying to keep the trunk between himself and the aircraft. From above, the drone applies pressure, orbiting patiently and searching for an opening rather than rushing the approach. After several tense moments, the soldier breaks contact and sprints toward a nearby shelter, dropping inside to hide. The pause is brief. Whether from fear, uncertainty, or changing conditions, he exits the shelter again. As he emerges, the drone immediately commits, closing the distance and ending the encounter. The sequence shows how persistent aerial tracking, controlled timing, and psychological pressure shape outcomes in forested terrain. The next sequence shows a damaged tank sitting near the tree line. A Russian soldier is seen approaching the disabled vehicle, likely treating it as cover. Moments later, a Ukrainian drone descends and engages the position. Minutes pass, and another soldier moves toward the same wreck. This time, a drone is already hovering nearby. The soldier circles the tank repeatedly, using the hull to block the approach, but the effort fails. Hours later, a third soldier enters the damaged vehicle to hide inside. The pause is brief. A Ukrainian drone arrives and commits once again. The footage raises a clear question about why the same disabled vehicle continued to draw personnel despite repeated exposure. The next sequence unfolds among ruined buildings in the Pokrovsk area. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a small group of Russian soldiers sheltering inside a damaged structure. Moments later, an attack drone enters the scene and engages the interior. Almost immediately, a second drone approaches from a different direction, increasing pressure on the position. One soldier breaks from the rubble and moves quickly into a neighboring building, seeking new cover. From above, the surveillance drone maintains steady tracking, adjusting position without revealing its presence. The soldier remains unaware that his movement has been fully observed. After a short pause, another Ukrainian drone descends and commits to the new location. The footage is captured by a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone, observing a ruined residential zone near the front line. From above, the drone identifies a group of Russian soldiers withdrawing into an underground shelter, likely regrouping after a failed assault moments earlier. The drone holds position, tracking movement and confirming the location. Shortly after, a Ukrainian tank enters the destroyed area, maneuvering carefully through debris. With the shelter's position verified, the tank engages, collapsing the structure and denying it further use as a defensive position. The next moment unfolds inside a ruined residential block on the approaches to Pokrovsk. A Ukrainian drone patrol flies low along the street, skimming broken pavement and collapsed walls. Near a shattered house, a Russian soldier stands motionless beside a damaged fence, hoping to avoid attention. As the drone closes in, he suddenly moves, slipping through the fence line and breaking into a run. The drone pursues from above. In desperation, the soldier turns and throws the object in his hand toward the approaching aircraft. The attempt fails. The drone maintains its course, pressure building as escape options disappear. The next situation unfolds near a forest edge in the Zaporizhia area. A Ukrainian drone maintains steady observation over 3 Russian soldiers sheltering beside a disabled vehicle close to the tree line. Moments later, an attack drone arrives and engages one soldier positioned near the wheel, removing the only solid cover available. The remaining 2 soldiers react immediately, abandoning the vehicle and running into the nearby forest. They move through scattered trees, searching for concealment but finding none that offers real protection. Still exposed, they continue across an abandoned railway line and push deeper into another stretch of woodland. Throughout the movement, the drone tracks their route from above, adjusting position without losing contact. Believing they have finally reached a safer spot, the 2 soldiers descend into a nearby shelter and pause briefly. The sense of safety is short-lived. The Ukrainian drone follows closely and enters the position, ending the sequence. The next situation unfolds near a forest edge toward Kupiansk. A Ukrainian drone moves in at speed, closing on a Russian soldier resting beneath a tree, using the shade as temporary cover. Only when the aircraft is nearly overhead does the soldier look up and recognize the threat. But the distance has already collapsed and the drone commits. Not far away, near an abandoned warehouse, a second drone accelerates toward another soldier, standing beside a disabled vehicle. As the drone approaches, the soldier breaks into a run and throws the cup of water in his hand toward the aircraft in a reflexive act of panic. The sequence highlights how brief pauses and routine movement quickly become vulnerabilities under constant aerial surveillance. Near the edge of a village in the Pokrovsk direction, a Ukrainian reconnaissance drone detects a Russian mechanized assault group advancing along a dirt road at the village perimeter. The drone descends quietly, selecting the last armored vehicle in the column to limit escape and response. The first strike disables the vehicle, forcing it to stop and break formation. Moments later, a second drone follows in, confirming the target and completing the engagement. Not far away, 2 Russian soldiers move separately on an ATV, unaware they are being tracked from above. The pursuing drone maintains distance, matching speed and direction, until timing and alignment converge. The final approach is swift, ending both movements and illustrating how layered drone tactics disrupt mobility before coordination can recover. The footage, recorded by a Ukrainian drone near the Pokrovsk area, captures a brief rear-angle moment. From above, the drone detects a Russian soldier concealed beneath a loose pile of branches used as improvised cover. Seconds later, the drone commits, closing the distance and resolving the encounter. Near a ruined house at the edge of a forest, a Ukrainian FPV drone conducts a slow approach while tracking signs of movement inside. The operator confirms concealment through the structure. With angles checked and timing set, the drone slips through a broken window and completes the action, showing how precision access can neutralize cover in close terrain. The following footage takes place near the Lyman sector, where a series of explosions ripple across the battlefield. Ukrainian drone operators from the 53rd Mechanized Brigade conduct precision UAV strikes against identified enemy positions. From above, the drones track movement, fixed points, and suspected firing locations before committing with controlled timing. Each strike is deliberate, aimed at disrupting defensive setups and limiting the enemy's ability to reposition or respond. The aerial perspective shows how even brief exposure or static positions are quickly identified and targeted. Rather than overwhelming force, the operation emphasizes accuracy, coordination, and sustained pressure. The sequence illustrates how Ukrainian drone units use precise aerial strikes to shape the battlefield around Lyman, steadily degrading enemy positions while maintaining constant situational awareness from the air.